Hello, my name is Pebbles. I am a small but very strong boulder that sits at the edge of the Cumberland Gap near the Kentucky, Tennessee, and Virginia borders. Throughout my time in the Gap, I have seen many things. One morning, millions of years ago, I saw a bright light that was shining in the sky. I thought it was the sun, but I was wrong. It was a meteor. It came down with a huge crash near where I lay. The explosion made a large gap in the Appalachian Mountains. For years after that, I observed all kinds of wildlife and animals that make their way through the gap. Then, one day, people began to come through carrying bows, arrows, and tomahawks while riding horseback. Then they sometimes would stand on me to get a better view of this beautiful land and map their way west. I often overheard the Indians say what a great trail they now had and what great hunting grounds lay around the trails. In fact, they referred to these trails as the Great Warrior Paths. Then, around 1750, a white man named Dr. Thomas Walker came by leading a scouting expedition. He named the gap after the Duke of Cumberland from Great Britain. He only went halfway through the gap. It wasn't until 1775 that a man named Daniel Boone explored the region for the Transylvania Company. They used axes and saws to blaze the trail for others to follow. He would call this the Wilderness Road, and it took over 8 years to complete. Many of the brave men died at the hands of dangerous Indians. At the end of the Wilderness Road, Daniel Boone built a settlement called Fort Boonesborough. The Wilderness Road opened up a new passageway for pioneers from the northeast to travel western over the years. Before the state of Kentucky was part of the Union in 1792, more than 100,000 persons used the trail to travel into the bluegrass area. Over the years, several wars took place, which kept the trail quiet for me. It wasn't until the 1860s and the Civil War that the trail was used for strategic purpose. Both sides of the war used the transportation of men and supplies. Now, there are modern roads where people drive cars instead of wagons. Did you know that these modern concrete roads called interstates are built on the same paths as the Native Indians called the Great Warrior Paths? It's nice to see something old and true being used and enjoyed today. My days are not lonely, though, as I see thousands of hikers and campers who still enjoy the beauty of the Cumberland Gap. Occasionally, I'll even get a person who sits beside me to picnic and look out over nature's wonder and backyard. You should come visit me sometime. I'll be waiting for you.